This show is brought to you in part by viewers like you who joined a Patreon or become YouTube members. Thank you. And if you could, hit the like button and subscribe if you want more Browns-focused content. Got JP ACOSTA with us right now. Now, if you watch this channel regularly, me and him, we did our all-potential offensive draft. And what we're doing here is just basically going through each position and saying which player has the most potential at those position groups or in that position group. Not saying this guy's the best, right? Just saying, hey, this is the ceiling is the roof, as Michael Jordan would say with these kids. All right. Let's start with edge. I think edge is a fun place to start. And now this is an interesting one to me because you can make a really good argument for, in my mind, like 2-3 people, maybe even like 4 if you're willing to be super creative. Like this class screams the question, well, what is an edge?
Yeah, it depends on what you really like. There are different flavors, you know. It's like going to an ice cream store. All of it's good, but it depends on what flavor you're looking for. I think my all potential edge, very obviously, if you follow me, you know I love this guy. I got him in my top 10. Texas A&M Shamar Stewart. I think he's a lot better than people think he is, and a lot better than what his numbers say he is when you watch him play. I think a lot of it was due to the fact that he was 290 pounds playing the 4-eye in Texas A&M's defense. But when you saw him play out wide and those snaps they had out wide, that conversion of speed to power and that athleticism just shows up. Everything that he did in the 40 shows up on tape. You see it. It's just he needs the reps on the edge to actually consistently put together his pass rush plan. But we've seen guys enter the NFL and immediately win with speed to power. Jared Verse won Defensive Rookie of the Year just going speed to power on everybody. He picked up Jordan Mailata off speed to power and was like, oh, like, yeah, this is what he's been doing since he was at Albany. Will Anderson Jr. won Defensive Rookie of the Year, going to be and is one of the 10 best edge defenders in the league off of speed to power. And I think that's something that Shamar Stewart can bring to an NFL defense, but I also think the potential is high. The floor might be a little lower because, you know, like you got to put it together. You got to be able to put the pass rush plan together. So I'm going with Shamar Stewart here. I think this potential is through the roof.
There are some players, like this happens a lot in basketball. Because I remember making this point about Bronny. Because I was like, when I watched Bronny, I'm like, that's a dude who does not need to play much college basketball because his game doesn't suit it. But like you put him in the NBA and he looks a lot better, right? Because he plays more of an NBA style of play. And Shamar Stewart is the quintessential, like I think he's going to be a better pro than he was in college, right? Like I think I'm like, because college, sometimes you get into that real college-y stuff, right? Where you're put into it, it's more functional than it is about like player development. It's like you see this all the time with Tennessee, where you're like, I don't even want to draft anybody from Tennessee's offense anymore because it's like
with Georgia too. Like when they run the tight mint front, it works at the college football level. And as a college football fan, college football writer, it rules. As a NFL draft evaluator, that sucks to evaluate because Michael Williams is 265 pounds having to crunch his head against double teams every play.
You know, I went back and watched the 2015 Mississippi State-Alabama game, and I was like, oh, this is why Dak went in the 4th round. He wasn't doing none of this shit he do in Dallas. Like Dak Prescott was getting that ball and running straight up the middle. I forgot that Dak Prescott was basically poor man Tim Tebow in Dan Mellon's offense.
He's the most fascinating. Like his game in the NFL is nothing like his game.
What it was in college.
Like he got to the NFL and decided, I'm gonna be the most precise pocket passer in the modern game.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like, sometimes you can get it. Like, it's hard to figure out. Like, is this just a player who's going to give you a bad eval because you can only judge what you see, and what you see is not representative of what that player could be, right?
And then, it's Michael, like if the Cowboys are the kings of this, just lucking into some good situations here. Because same thing happened with Michael Parsons, where he was a stand-up linebacker at Penn State. And then they just go, oh, let's play him at edge. We ain't got nobody there. And then all of a sudden you're like, oh, you just lucked into a new paradigm at the position, right?
Yeah.
Like, so yeah, and it's so influential that it caused Abdul Carter to play on the edge in college, right? Like think about how crazy that is. Penn State didn't even think about that shit and had to have their mind changed by what Michael Parsons, a Penn State alumni, a guy who wore number 11 for them, did in the pros. And yeah, I think Abdul is up there because he's just barely scratched the surface, super young. I think he's even younger than Travis is, right? Like, think by like a couple of months because Travis, I believe he turns 22 or something before the season or around the start of the season. And then Abdul, he's 21 and he's going to be 21 until January. So super young, scratching the surface. I think what kills him in this conversation is that he's already put so much on tape. Like he's demonstrated so much skill.
He's already very good. Yeah. Like it makes him, he was so good at edge that you forget that he played linebacker.
Yeah, it was like, wow. He was a pretty solid stand-up linebacker too.
Good linebacker. Like he would probably be like the second best linebacker in this class.
Yeah, so
he might even be first.
There's so much versatility there with him, and there's so much he does well. Shamar Stewart's there. And then like you got the oddballs like the Jalen Walkers of the world, right? Like it's like, well, what you can do with that guy. But
I do have go ahead.
Oh yeah, I would lean with Abdul Carter being my all potential guy because I'm like, if I'm just going off of who I think can be like, if they hit the best version of themselves, I think the best version of Abdul Carter would be better than the best version of Shamar Stewart.
I do think another one for the all potential, if this guy is able to reach his potential, is Olufemi Oladejo from UCLA. He played Mike linebacker for all basically up until the first two games of this past season when they're like, oh, we need you to play edge because we got Schlesinger and then Kay Madrano who blew up the combine playing linebacker. So we moved to edge and was really good against the run as a former Mike linebacker. You normally, when you see guys who are smaller or coming from playing linebacker off ball to the edge, you think they're better as pass rushers. No, he was really good against the run. Like you can't run away from him. He's going to chase down every play. Now you do see some of this guy has only played 1 year at edge a lot. He'll run himself out of plays. He doesn't really have a pass rush plan right now. But when you think about guys like Jalen Hunt, who went in the third round last year, got a sack in the Super Bowl, really athletic guy, I think Oluwafemi Oladejo can be one of those guys where if his potential hits, you got at least a good starter because of that athleticism, the length, the movement skills, and he's already a high effort run defender.
Absolutely, absolutely. All right, let's go to the second most interesting conversation. Are we going to have a two-time member of this group here? Corner.
All potential. I am going to go with Jahdae Barron.
Jahdae Barron. Interesting.
And the reason I'm going with Jahdae Barron is because at first I was low on Jahdae Barron. I was like, he's probably just a nickel for me. And I still think he is just a nickel. I think in my previous big board, I had him at 36. So far, he's moved inside the top 30 for me. But that ability just to get his hands on the ball and the instincts in close areas, that is a game-breaking nickel, you know? And you can have a guy that, like, think about how valuable Trent McDuffie is to the Chiefs, the ability to play inside and outside and play matchup ball. That's what Jahdae Barron can do for somebody. I've bought in a lot more on Jahdae Barron than I was earlier in the draft process. He doesn't always play to his 4.3 speed, which is why I was so shocked that he ran 4.3 because you never see him play at a 4.3 speed. So I think Barron has this ability just to wear multiple hats in the secondary. And I think that's why he's my pick for all potential at corner.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm gonna go Travis here.
Yeah, yeah, that also makes sense. Like that makes
Yeah.
yeah.
Ball skills, zone instincts.
Everything that we said for receiver,
Yeah. I mean, if he's really good at receiver, I mean, think about what that means for DB. I do wonder, like, he might be one of those corners you have to play in a specific way, because being good at man is that's the one where I'm like, I don't know if he ever gonna be good at man, because like that's
I really
a
so. I think he's real scheme versatile. I think you can play him in
think
man.
so.
I think you can play him in man or zone. I think his best plays come in zone,
Mm-hmm.
but he has got such good feet and movement skills to be a man lockdown corner. I think for him, it is you put him on one side of the field and forget about that half of the field. You just
Mm.
don't throw that way. My favorite play of Travis Hunter's came against UCLA his first year at Colorado, where they're in cover two and he's in the flat. And UCLA is running this little bench concept. They got a corner and they got an out. They're trying to attack the cover two flat defender. If he moves towards the flat, throw the corner out. He moves towards the corner, throw the quick flat route. Travis Hunter jumps the out route,
Ooh.
baits the corner, baits the quarterback into throwing the corner route, gets back under the corner route and picks it off. What do you do? Like, that was the right throw at the time, and he picked it off. Like you just don't throw it to his side.
There was somebody, was it on the Bears? Like somebody has like a really good young defensive back. I forget specifically who it was, but he was talking about how he did something similar out of palms.
Johnson in palm coverage. He did it against the Vikings. I remember that.
I was like, damn, bro, that's just a nightmare.
Like you can be so right with Travis Hunter and defense on the defensive side of the ball until you throw the ball, and then Travis Hunter picks it off. He had it against TCU, the first game Colorado played with Deion as head coach. They're running mesh and mesh rail, which is the worst play ever made. Travis Hunter defends the rail route.
Wait, this explains your beef with the University of Miami football, because they run.
I hate the air raid. Get all that air raid bullshit out of.
They call it like Ace 93 or something like that. It's just straight mesh rail the whole game.
Run real routes. Run real concepts. You gotta win by trying to make people run into each other. But anyway, Travis Hunter defends the wheel route out the backfield by the running back.
Yes.
The mesh route coming from the other side of the ball.
No.
It's open. And then Travis Hunter jumps in front of it and picks it off.
That's crazy.
And you're just that was his first game at Colorado.
That's crazy.
The first game, and everybody's like, oh yeah. Like, okay, that's different.
Yeah, that is I mean, that's almost safety like.
That is, you know how like everybody used to say about Ed Reed, if you just put the ball up, he's gonna be there. Mm-hmm. So you just can't put the ball in his area. It's the same thing with Travis Hunter. You just can't throw to that side or throw in his vicinity, or he's coming down with the ball.
Yeah, maybe I'm just too worried. See, look, this is the thing. Travis Hunter's so good that you because I'm like, oh man, maybe the muscle memory is going to be too hard to learn on both sides of the ball. But I'm like, hey, he probably could figure that out. Like, it seems like somebody who could figure that kind of thing out. But yeah, it's a crazy athlete there. Safety.
This one is also rather easy for me. Nick Emanwari.
The only guy I have seen run with Jalen Milroe in this class.
When you are 6'3", 220 and run a 4.38, have a 43-inch vertical, have a 138-inch broad jump. Oh, hold on. Before we get into the numbers, Nick Emanwari is a 97th percentile height, according to Mock Draftable, 97th percentile for height. 96th percentile for weight. He's 220. Ran a 4.38, 91st percentile for safeties. 43 vertical jump, 98th percentile for safeties. 138-inch broad jump, 99th percentile for safeties. 20 bench press reps.
Yeah, like and not short arms too. Like with
No, he's
32
got
inch
long
arms.
arms. Yeah, we say a lot like athletic potential is only like potential until you get it on the field, but he is Eamon Warrior is such a confusing evaluation because his eyes are better closer to the line of scrimmage, but his best plays come from center field where he's just running from one side of the field to the other and picking the ball off. Like he has better eyes closer to the ball, but I think he tackles better from depth. He's such a weird player that I think if a team figures him out, you have a game-breaking safety because you just don't find many guys that big and that fast. But if it doesn't work out, you just got a big, fast dude who you can't play anywhere.
I think he's going to 100% be a different player in the league than like what he was in college. Like, because that happens a lot with safeties. I know with Grant Delpit, right? People are like, Grant can't tackle. Grant's got to play free safety. You get Grant Delpit to the NFL, he's basically a linebacker, and that's where he plays well in the league. And like, it turned out like he's really good to run stop stuff, right? I think with Nick, you got to figure out where he needs to be because the measurables are going to tell you one thing, his body's going to tell you another thing, and then his tape's going to tell you like two different things. And it's like you just got to get a natural feel for where he's at. I do wonder is with his size, like, man, I really hope he doesn't get drafted to the AFC North just because like every team except for the Baltimore Ravens is going to be tempted to put this man on Lamar duty, right? Like everybody, it might be the Ravens might draft him on like the same logic that the 76ers signed Al Horford, where they're like, hey, we just don't want this guy like out there defending Joel Embiid in the playoffs.
The craziest thing is, I think the best fit for him is the Ravens.
Yes.
Like, again, like if you thought 1 6'4" safety wasn't enough, why not 2 6'4" safeties? And then you move Kyle Hamilton back to like nickel and the overhang stuff, and then let Eamon Warrior play like the deep safety, and then just like build like the Transformers of a secondary.
It's unfair. It's unfair, man.
Like, you know how many arms you got to get the ball past?
Yeah, like that's crazy. But yeah, Nick, I would probably choose him there too. And again, only guy I've seen run with Jalen Milroe, even though I've seen Jalen Milroe outrun.
Jalen Milroe has outrun everybody except Nick Eamon, which was like, hey, you know what? Even you could put him on like an AFC East team and go, you are on Justin Fields duty. Yeah. All you gotta do is just tackle number one.
Yeah, he locked that up too. I feel pretty good about that. But yeah, it's just that. Look, man, don't go nowhere where like you got a bunch of running quarterbacks because like they're gonna put you on that duty, Nick. Like they're gonna put you on. They're gonna be like, all right, we got a job for you.
It's like how PJ Tucker was billed like with the Raptors, like he was the LeBron stopper. So everybody PJ Tucker because he could stop LeBron.
There's just such a lineage of guys who like got thrown into that fire because what it was. Paul George was the first one. They're like, oh, that's a LeBron stopper, and then like Kawhi was the actual LeBron stopper, but even he wasn't enough. And then like you get like the Andre Iguodala's, and then you get the less successful attempts, right? We're gonna draft Stanley Johnson because he can stop LeBron James. Right, like all these other guys. That's part of the reason the Cavs drafted Anthony Bennett. Right, like all these other guys. Then we're like, oh yeah, look at him. He's 6'8". He's too. Look, he can stop LeBron, and it's like nobody. That's not a thing, right?
You think you can stop LeBron? You think this guy can stop LeBron until he's actually out there defending LeBron?
You think you can stop LeBron until you actually see LeBron in motion. You're like, oh, yeah.
Never mind.
They made one. It's like if somebody was like, hey, man, we're going to get a Miles stopper at tackle. It's like, yeah, sure, try. Like the guy that Trent Williams tried to block, it was like, nah, he's going straight to the Hall of Fame after the game. And Trent don't compliment nobody. Like, there's no stopper for that. The ref is the only thing that can help you by not calling the hold. Like
the
that's
ref
it.
And the whistle. Play got to Play got to be.
By the way, That's when I knew Abdul Carter was cold, when I was watching the Big Ten championship game, and they was just letting Josh Connerly get away with bloody murder in that game. I'm like, the refs know it's not fair. Like,
you got to help him somehow.
Yeah, like the refs are the ones who know, because when it's unfair, they not about to call shit. They're like, look at him. He's got no chance on every play if we don't let him get a little choke. Right?
Yeah,
like,
grab a little high.
Yeah, I'm like, they didn't call a single thing in that game. I'm like, the refs knew the first step must have been brutal in person. Like,
See, up close.
Yeah.
Tell a different story.
Like, oh, those hands are violent. Like, but yeah, fun stuff there. When we went safety, corner,
Linebacker,
edge. Oh yeah, we got linebacker. Well, linebacker's easy, right?
It's Jihad Campbell or Carson Swessing. Take your pick, man.
It's Jihad. Okay.
You know how cold you got to be to be named Jihad, and everybody like, I want that guy on my team.
Oh yeah, give me the Jihad, right? Like on the team. Like, unreal, unreal dude. I don't know. Number 11 might be the new sauce number at these like super athletic around the box players, because it's something about number 11 where I'm like, dog, he might be cold, and then like them dudes usually be cold. Like,
I have come so close to putting Jihad Campbell in my top 10 of my big board, and it's gonna be so close because he's such a good 3-down player, especially in coverage, the range that he has. He will, against Wisconsin, one of my favorite reps by any linebacker this season. Wisconsin is running a little stick route from the third receiver and then a post behind them with the second receiver. Jihad Campbell's the Tampa 2 runner. He passes off, or no, they're running like an inside switch route. He passes off the number 3 receiver, and then he runs with this post 40 yards downfield, just blankets him, locks him down. I'm like, oh, okay. Like, I've seen all I need to see. Give me that guy in the first round. I'm done here. I watched that game and like, all right, we're done. That was like, I think I tweeted about it in like October. And I was like, okay, we're good here. I'm done.
Yeah, he's 6'3", 235, which is good for a stand-up linebacker. And he's probably going to put on like an extra 10.
I think he slimmed down to 235 to run fast. I think Alabama listed him at 250.
Okay. 6'3", 250. I mean, that's old school weight right there, right?
Again, like, you got to understand what we're working with here. A 250-pound linebacker.
He moving like JOK at Notre Dame when he was like at 215.
like, again, I'm not comparing them as players, and I don't want people to think that I'm comparing and making it seem like he's going to be this caliber of player. But Dante Hightower was 6'2", 270, like blitzing off the edge and defending deep down the middle of the field. I didn't think we'd see guys like that again.
Yeah.
Dude,
yeah, that guy, they made one of those at Alabama. I had to fully agree with you. All right. Interior defensive tackle. Who you got off potential T?
It's Walter Nolan.
Walter Nolan for you?
It's Walter Nolan because when Walter Nolan tries, he is so good. I think that's fair. But he never tries. It's like, against the run, he's just like, I'm good. Never mind. Oh, it's a run play? I'm good. You got to do the... You don't actually try and get off the block.
Ain't none of this going on. Ain't no up, down, nothing.
You just lock out.
You just grabbing hands, right?
Yeah. But he is so
he pro wrestling out there.
Yeah, he's just like, okay, I don't need to do this. But he is so fast and so violent with his intentions, with his moves, especially going up the field as a pass rusher. I worry about how small he is. He's like 290 pounds, 293 pounds. And just, he's only a 3 tech because you can't ask him to defend the run. So I think with him, also another all potential guy that I almost chose, Deion Walker.
Oh, the big man.
Look, 2023 Deion Walker is one of the most incredible like film pieces I've seen of any prospect. I mean, he's out rushing in tackles and doing like inside spin moves at 6'7", 350. And I'm just like, oh, I didn't think you had this in your bag, sir. But he broke his back this season.
Oh
Like
my God.
he was playing this season with a broken back. And I'm just like, why? Where did all that go? Where did all that power, that explosiveness? He just looked like he was going through the motions out there. So you worry with his potential how high he can get because of a back injury for a guy who's already got high pad level at 6'7" and
Mm,
also a thin lower body. He doesn't have a lot. His weight is all in his upper body. He's got a big chest, big shoulders, thin legs, real thin legs. So you worry against the run, you can't really play him as a nose tackle. You can't really
yeah.
play him as a one tech. But where do you play him? I think he's a five technique in a 3-4 defense. I think like it's really hard to put those guys in a defense because they're so unique. But if Deion Walker hits his potential, that is a monster, monster player.
Yeah. See, look, some people say Deion Walker has their prototypical build for the defensive tackle. I'm like, nah, I want the Ty Robinson build. I want the big block of hay build. Like Ty Robinson looks like a brick wall walking, and it's like no cuts. I'm like, the less cuts, the better at DT.
My ideal defensive tackle build is Tyleek Williams.
Tyleek Williams.
That's just a big rock. He's just a big rock.
Yeah, that's the thing with me too. With Deion, it's like the thin legs. Like I prefer, like I would prefer you just have the bigger legs, right? Like I prefer the guy who got the bigger base because I think that matters more. And so much of your power comes from your lower body, and oftentimes you see guys who can't get that flexibility in their lower body. You're like, oh, why aren't they as strong as they look? And it's because a lot of that shit comes from your legs, right? Like, I mean, people will have the undersized conversation with a guy like Abdul, but I'm like, he never gets pushed off the tracks, right?
Yeah,
Like,
he just doesn't get moved.
yeah, it's like, because he's kind of the opposite build of Deion, where like he has a pretty thin upper body, but like the legs are really strong there with him, and he doesn't have like those broad shoulders that Micah Parsons had. Where it's like, oh, Micah looks physically giant in those pads. Where like Abdul's gonna look a little undersized because he also has like a giant melon, and then like the narrow like shoulders. So he's never gonna look as big as he is. But the legs are like, okay, I'm cool. Like the legs there. Somebody even like a Kobe Bryant, a cornerback, where I'm like, okay, the legs make up for
so
it.
skinny.
Yeah.
I want to believe so much, but man, please eat a carb.
is he lighter than Tez?
Oh, he's not lighter than Tez. He's just skinny.
I wonder if like Tez got like like you know how like the wind can assist you in outdoor track. I wonder if the opposite happened to him, like at the combine where like the AC was up too high. Yeah, so it was too much of a drag, right? So he's like,
everybody's like, hey, you gotta mock him to Denver because Bo Nix is like is his brother, but also they played together at Oregon. You don't want him in that wind. He strong gust of wind, he'll fly out the stadium.
Did they also get the other guy from Oregon last year?
Yes.
Yeah, like,
yes.
They had a similar problem as him.
Draft all Bo Nix's friends.
It was like draft all Bo Nix's friends plus have the shortest deep threat in the NFL, Marvin Mims. That's a recipe for success. That's Sean Payton right there, right? That's what he's gonna do. But it's been a fun walkthrough draft. We went through every position. We said are all potential guys. JP, is there another player you want to bring up before we head out? Just maybe it's not an all potential guy, but a guy that you're like, you know what? I want to stake my claim that if this guy turns into something, I was in on it.
RJ Harvey. Running back.
RJ Harvey's your guy?
He's been my guy since like the beginning of the season. He's a senior. He's a super senior. I think he's like 24 and he's like 5'7". But the dude can just play football. The contact balance is there, the explosiveness is there, the ability to run in zone or gap schemes is there. He's gonna be a gem for somebody. I just know it.
It's gonna be one of those like, yeah, get him on that rookie deal. Like if you're gonna act like running backs are super disposable, I don't know why the age matters too much with them. is you're going to draft them. I understand if you're going to re-sign them, I guess that's a conversation to have. But yeah, RJ Harvey's fun to watch. Another guy with like tree trunks for legs, right? Like
massively.
Yeah, so you don't really worry about the size being much of a problem. I'll leave here with this, and I just want this on video. So this is why I'm going to put this out there. I have one unhinged draft take.
Oh boy.
Yeah, it's an unhinged draft take, right? And I don't seriously believe in this. But if it does happen, I would like video evidence of me like saying I think this is a possibility. I feel like the 49ers could do something unhinged in this draft. And that unhinged thing could be, let's take Jalen Milroe way earlier than people think we're going to take him. Or let's take Jalen Milroe at all. Yeah. They have so much coming out of this building about obvious cold feet about this Brock Purdy contract. Like, it's been 2 years worth of like, I don't know, reports about Brock Purdy, and especially like the elbow, all the things they're concerned about with him. They keep bringing in these backups that are like, you don't trust your starting quarterback backups, right? Like, you go out, you get Josh Dobbs, like you go out, you get Sam Darnold. Who they bring in this year? I thought that, didn't they bring in somebody? Let me look it up. But like, I remember seeing it and being like, that's not a I trust my starter choice there at the backup quarterback position.
Mac Jones.
Yeah, it's like they keep bringing these former starters and these guys like, we know Kyle Shanahan loved Mac Jones, right? Coming out the draft and was considering making the move up for him. And it's like, it feels like they're looking for an out at the quarterback position. And I wonder if something kooky comes to their head where it's like, you know what? We got the time to develop him. We can use him, you know, in certain packages. We're the 49ers, so it's not like we're desperate for talent. And it's the 11th pick in the draft. And shit can go down at the 11th pick of the draft, right? It's not like 3 where it's irresponsible to act like this.
I'm going the other way. I think they might not want to pay Brock Purdy, but they want to recreate Brock Purdy in the aggregate. So, San Francisco 49er quarterback Kyle McCord.
That could happen too. That could happen too.
You want Brock Purdy? Get the 1-to-1 Brock Purdy, like even down to the lookalike.
I just think Kyle Shanahan might look at Jalen Milroe, all the coachable intangibles he gets, and goes, man, this is everything I wanted Trey Lance to be.
Yeah.
Like, it decides, you know what? Let's do it. Like,
try this again.
Yeah. Like, you know, he's like, oh, well, he stays on schedule. Like, he goes through his progressions. You know, I can deal with inaccuracy.
Give him more gray hairs.
Yep. I just wonder if somebody like is going to do something unhinged here. I also think like the Giants much more likely to take that running back at 3 than most people think, because like if you need to get better right now and you're the team that's been getting shat on for letting Saquon Barkley go, the like appeal of going Genty there is going to be much higher, I think, than most people, because like that dude's going to make you better like day one. Right,
I will
like
also be wary of the Jaguars and Ashton Junty.
Yeah, because you got a quarterback, right? Like feasible.
Quarterback.
Yeah,
and like Mason Graham.
Yeah, yo, he'd be better. Well, you guys spent this 2 first-round picks on 2 running backs, right? ETN and but it's not like Bulky's there anymore, but.
ETN was the first round pick in 2022. I don't think he's going to be there for much longer.
That's going to be all for us here. We got our do you have any unhinged takes?
When it comes to the draft, I would not be surprised if a current player on an established roster gets traded the night of the draft. And my bet is Tyreek Hill.
Who's going to trade for him?
That's the issue. I don't think anybody's going to trade for him, especially with what he's got going on.
Hey, yeah, I root for a team where I cannot count that out. Okay.
But with that being said, there is a team that, I mean, I could see a team going, if we want to win a title and we need some explosiveness at receiver. We'll give it a shot.
You
But
think Kansas City tries to get him back?
That was the one team I was That was the one team.
Because they've just been trying to replicate it since he's left, with just getting the fastest guy they can find in either free agency or the draft, because they went Hollywood Brown first. And then who's the first Tyreek Hill replacement? Was it
Mecole Hardman?
Well, no, Mecole Hardman was there. No, I think Kadarius Toney. They tried to bring in Kadarius, right? And tried to do the Tyreek stuff. And then they brought in Xavier Worthy last year. And I just don't think that they feel like more speed is an issue. So they could. And like Andy Reid has demonstrated throughout his career, he's willing to take on guys who, might not be in the greatest standing as far as public relations goes throughout his long career. I mean, this was something that they ran him out of town for in Philadelphia eventually but he's always had an open mind to those kind of things. So yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. And look, the Chiefs do something every year in the draft that like makes us feel like their reign is inevitable. This will fit the bill.
They just run it back.
It's like the Chiefs and the Eagles do something every year in the first round where we're like, it's unfair. And that would be the Chiefs thing. I don't know what the Eagles thing would be.
Dallas Goedert. Trading Dallas Goedert.
Yeah, something along those lines. But appreciate you for jumping on, JP. Where can they find you? Where can they get more stuff from you? Where can they read your articles and all the interesting stuff that you do?
You can find me at SB Nation. I am lead football writer. I write about college football specifically. I write about the NFL draft. I write about the NFL. I'll be bringing back Establish the Fun during the NFL season, but you can find all my draft work at SB Nation. Also follow SB Nation on TikTok because I make a lot of cool TikToks on there. You'll see me more on YouTube Shorts. You'll see on Instagram Reels. Just follow me, see what I'm doing, see where I'm going.
All right, JP, appreciate you for jumping on. Want to make sure that everybody goes out, checks out your stuff. But for JP, I'm Quincy Carrier. Y'all have a great day. Have an even better night. Peace.